There are several reasons why people change jobs: wanting a higher salary, looking for a greater fulfillment, or seeking new challenges. A job change is an opportunity to learn new skills and seek new career opportunities. But how do we choose the right company to work with? Hi guys, welcome to my journey to becoming a millionaire. My name is Chris Mo. If you don't know me, I do $1 to $2 million in construction sales, got a 6-figure income, some passive investments, and I got nothing to sell you. You see, I make these videos so I can document my life so my grandchildren can know who I am, and hopefully this can inspire others to start their own journey as well. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I choose the companies to partner up with, especially being in a shady industry like construction. Hopefully my experience can help others make better decisions, because trust me, I don't always get it right, but I do learn from my mistakes. So hopefully you learn from mine. That way you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. So without further ado, let's get started. With recent times, 52% of Americans have been thinking about changing careers in 2020. And about 50% of Americans change jobs every 1 to 5 years. But speaking from personal experience, I've changed companies 4 times just this year alone. I always stayed in the same industry because I love what I do, but I was always searching for something better. However, each time that I moved, there was always something missing. And this time, I wanted it to be different. When I was looking for a company to switch over to this time, there was a couple of things that I was looking for. See, most people think that you should just switch jobs for a higher pay, but it's not as easy as just that. At one point in my life, I came to the realization that I would rather be making less money and be happy than making 6 figures and being miserable. There's more to a career than just money. But because I know most of you guys watch this to learn about money, let's start there. It's quite simple, right? Let's go to another company so I can get paid more, right? Hopefully the transition that you're doing is in the same industry or the same amount of work that you're currently doing. That way it can be an easy transition. This happens all the time, which is a good thing. However, just a little disclaimer, you might have to work a little bit more for that higher pay. That's just how it works. I personally love being on a commission-only pay scale because that way I get paid for what I bring to the table. I negotiate my commission based on 2 things really. You see, in my industry, you can get paid in multiple different ways. I've looked at every single different commission pay scale, and I found that a percentage pay scale based on the gross amount is the easiest to work with for me. But how much percentage is the key to defining what you should get paid for. Now, one of the ways that I go ahead and like to get paid for is depending on the difficulty level. So if a company is providing me leads, or if I have to get my own leads, and depending on the quality of leads, that's all going to lead to a higher percentage because you're making my job harder. If you're making my job harder, I expect to get paid more. Meaning I go get my own leads, I pay for my own gas, I pay for my own car. I'm doing basically everything on my own, and the sale is harder, then I deserve to get paid more. So I always ask for a higher percentage. Now on the other side, I don't mind getting paid a lower percentage. Usually I get paid about 10 to 12%. I don't mind taking a percentage cut, say 5 to 8%, if you're making my job easier. Meaning these leads are high quality leads. You have a maximum amount of leads. You're paying for my truck. You're paying for my gas. You're making my whole entire life easier. Then I don't mind taking a cut because now it's worth it. The real question of it all is which one makes sense? Which one is more worth it? And are you really about it? Because there's been times where I've been on this side and I've been on this side, and they both work. They both work, so I don't mind. It's just a matter of what do you bring to the table on the company side. And that's what you have to look for when it comes to negotiating your pay. Is your life really becoming easier, getting that higher money, or are you better off where you were at before? And this is just for anyone that's getting paid on a commission-only pay scale. There's people who get paid salary and hourly, and it works almost the same way. Are you gonna go ahead and have more responsibilities? If you are, then you're gonna get paid more. Do you bring more value to the company? Then you're gonna get paid more. But it's all about providing value and being a top performer. And that's how you get paid more, and you're gonna have to do more work. But sometimes doing more work is not worth it if you don't like to work. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go towards the important stuff. Besides pay, one of the very first things that I look at when choosing a company is company culture. For me, I look for three different things. The first one is being organization. How well is this company organized? From the moment I submit my resume, how long for them to reply back to me till I talk on the phone? What's their process of just hiring somebody? Just alone on the process of hiring somebody, you can tell a lot about the company. So I look for companies that are really well organized, because I've been on the other side where this company doesn't know exactly what they're doing, and it makes my life harder. It's a headache. I'd rather deal with people who are organized, because that's what I hold to myself, being organized. The second thing that I look for when it comes to company culture is just the communication, right? How long does it take for someone to talk to me? Is it easy for me to talk to the owners, for my managers, and all these different things? How well does somebody communicate with me through emails, phone calls, texts? Is it making my life easier? Is it making me want to go ahead and want to work there? I look at all these little different things, and you can tell all of this just through the hiring process itself. How well someone communicates with you from the very beginning shows a lot about a company. So that's the very first things that I start judging a company based on. Now, the last thing that I look for is online presence. How well do they look online? You see, people don't realize that we're moving into a world where your social wealth matters. How you look outside to the world matters. Especially being in my industry, it matters, because homeowners want to know that they're getting their job done right, that they're working with a reliable company, a company that they trust. And they're not going to know that they can trust you if they don't know who you are. So I start looking into their company online presence to see whether I fit in with their company online presence, if they even have an online presence, and how good is it. When it comes to the overall picture of company culture, this is how I look at it. I look at myself. How am I as an individual? I'm disciplined, I'm organized, I communicate properly, I do everything how you should, the right way. I go ahead and hold myself to really high values. I'm always searching to be better. That's the type of company that I want to align myself with. If I don't see that in your company, I am not going to want to work there. The way you look and choose your company, it should be based on how you look at yourself. Sometimes I like to even say that it's almost like finding the right partner, right? What values and ethics do you hold yourself accountable, and do they match with the company? Because if you don't look at these things, 3-6 months later down the road, you're going to hate working there, and then you're going to job search again. And that's not the whole point of looking for a job search. Honestly, you would want to stay with a company where you're happy and you're making good money. That's what I'm looking for. The next thing that I look at is the current employees. I personally like to be around only top performers, meaning I only want to associate with people who want to be a better version of themselves every single day. From the moment I submit my resume and I get that first phone call, whether it's from the hiring manager or from the secretary, how is that person communicating? Does that person seem like they know what they're talking about? Like they have some confidence, like it's being ran properly? Or does that person feel overwhelmed or just doesn't know what's going on at all? All the way down from the secretary to the owner, I am judging every single move that they make. Why? Because this is a two-way street. You want to make sure that the people in that company are aligned with your values. Just this week alone, when I was looking for a company to partner up with, I had to cancel the second interview with another company just because I didn't like how their hiring manager was talking. I just didn't feel like they knew what they were talking about, wasn't feeling the energy, and I just didn't want to go ahead and work there if this is the vibe that I was already getting. So I canceled that second meeting. Hiring is a two-way streak if you're a top performer. Don't forget that. The last thing that I look at is if you hit the subscribe button and the like button. It only takes a second. It does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. So just go ahead and do it now. Last thing was really money, but we already talked about that in the very beginning. That's really it though. I use those things as a baseline when looking to join an organization. Using that same logic, I managed to get 5 job offers in the last week. I was able to narrow it down to 2 companies. I ended up choosing the one because they understood and heard my needs. And now it's up to me to deliver on my promise on being a badass. By the time this video drops, I'll already be 1 week into it, so I'll give you an update later on this. But if you want to see live updates, you guys can follow me on my Instagram, therealchrismorales. But I'll leave you guys with this. Most people think that the hiring process is a one-way streak. Employers choosing employees. I'm here to tell you today that it doesn't have to be that case if you're a valuable person. Becoming a valuable person gives you leverage when it comes to the hiring process. Because let's be real, there's a lot of people in this world, but not everyone is a superstar. That's why they don't give multiple MVP trophies, right? That's why not everyone makes it to be a professional athlete. Make yourself valuable before considering to change jobs. Besides that, I hope this video brought you value and you hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.